Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews. And it is an honor and privilege to have my good friend back on the show, Mr. Marzi Montazeri. He has a new EP that's out right now called The Uprising, and it's featuring Grammy-nominated Tim the Ripper Owens. And Marzi's worked with Phil Anselmo and the Illegals, and plus his other band, Heavy as Texas. And plus, you know who Tim Ripper Owens is. If not, then you guys have sadly missed out on a great vocalist. He's been part of Judas Priest. He's, been with Iced Earth for a little bit, Beyond Fear, Charred Walls of the Damned, Project Rock. He's just been all over the place. So, my brother Marzi, how you been and what's going on?
The Rob Father, man. Thank you for having me on. I've been doing great, man. I've been doing great. Just very busy with this new release, got a new label, and that takes a lot of hard work, and finishing this record off and getting it out to the public finally. I'm excited about it. Finally, I'm excited about it. Definitely not kicking back and taking anything easy. I'm working on the Heaviest Texas record right now, like really hardcore, but I'm really happy that we got the EP out. We just want to make sure we put out the Heaviest Texas record out, ASAP.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, Heaviest Texas first. How much have you got done on this album? When it's going to be out, possibly, maybe?
That's a really good question. So all the drum tracks have just been finished and been returned to me, and I finished 3 songs. I got about 5 more on the plate. I'm going to see what the hour mark is on it at that point, and at that I'm going to decide if I'm going to put another one on, or a couple of instrumental pieces, or just maybe just little pieces or something, or another whole complete song or 2. I don't know. I'm really leaning towards this one song that's got a Planet Caravanish feel to it, which is just guitars and like tablas and hand drums and stuff like that. And it does never go into a beat. It never goes anywhere. It doesn't settle down. It doesn't get really heavy. So I'm thinking about putting this on there. It's all over the place, this record, man. Uh-huh. It's all over the place. I totally, I got to tell you, man, John, I've been having a field day with it, man. I had a string section come last Sunday, and that's a totally a first.
Wow.
Totally a first. Watching classically trained people play heavy metal.
Damn. Yeah, that's...
Jeez, man. I've done video documenting everything also, so we can use it for, documentary, home movie, anything, just to show people, it's like, so it's been really cool, man. It's been a really, really, really super duper awesome ride, and I'm extremely, again, super blessed and thankful for the group of people that I've got together as the team. My partner Paul, that we started the label with. Every single person that's involved with us is just like part of us. I'm talking even our lawyer. He comes from us. He comes from our camp. And the combination that I got going on with my engineer Kevin in Houston and Chris Collier in Los Angeles that does the final mixing and mastering. It's been great. It's been a great ride, so I've been enjoying every little bit of it. I spend a lot of time with Kevin solo in the booth, in the control room, just doing my guitar tracks that I've just gotten back from Chris. We just had a string section, same place. And, I got a bass player in Jersey, and, we're talking to him heavily. I really do like him as a person, and we're just going to see if this piece of the puzzle is going to fit for Heaviest Texas. Hopefully it will. And then, the great Kyle Thomas singing vocals on it. I'm, just like as you were mentioning, if people don't know about Ripper, which is, they really should, especially in the genre of heavy metal.
Exactly.
Kyle Thomas is a voice that, has to be reckoned with. Tim has a powerful, incredible voice. And so when he steps in and it fills in such huge shoes for Rob Halford and does great records with Judas Priest, well, he's always going to have this kind of thing about him that he's just this Rob Halford guy. He's not. He's his own thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he's an articulate, cool dude. He's funny as hell. And he's very talented, man. And he really is killer at his craft. He really is. He's just something else. He gave this record such a life, such a timeless life. It's incredible. I'm honored to work with both of them. Kyle is the Southern metal champion. I really can't think of anybody else, genre of Southern metal or extreme Southern metal or anything heavy metal from the South anybody that touches Kyle's originality, dating back to Exorder and all his other bands, you know, Nashville Thunder Pussy, and then currently Of Trouble, and then soon to be Heaviest Texas. So he's just, man, he's an original. We played a live show with him in Shreveport. Was it opening up for Anthrax and Death Angel? You know, the promoter really wanted me out there, so I called Kyle and I was like, hey, you know, you want to go jam?
Sure.
Let's test this out, man. He said, yeah. We had a very short set, and we didn't have any rehearsal. We just got up and did 3 songs for a sound check, man. And it was such a tight little spot, I shit you not, on stage, that he couldn't even turn to see me. He was looking at the bass player far stage right, and I was behind him. And I was looking up. I turned my head slowly and looked at my drummer, and I had this this fucking biggest grin on my face, man. I was internally happy. I was like happy inside. I didn't even know what was about, what, you know, it just, you know what I mean? When It just comes out of nowhere, when you're not thinking about it, you're not trying to premeditate something. It's just like, wow, this just happened. I was so floored. So I looked really forward to playing that show with him, and we killed it. So that just, you know, affirmation for just moving forward with that project, man. And he's such a super cool dude. Again, he's just like, I love it all, man. I really love, and I'm fortunate to be working with such talent. And these guys are both have range, but they're both from different states, man, and they both bring different treasures to the table.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
So you can never compare one to the other. I will do no such thing. You know, Ripper is fucking great, and so is Kyle Thomas. Kyle Thomas is also great. You know, I'm not going to get into a fucking debate. I went to see Van Halen with David Lee Roth when they came through Houston this very last time. And while I was walking to the vehicle, going back, these 2 ladies somehow I didn't know them, just random, wanted to engage in this, who's better, them, Roth or Hagar. I was like, you're fucking shitting me, right now? I'm telling you, you know, right now you want to get into this debate? Roth didn't even know half the lyrics. That's why I love him. How are you going to substitute that voice? Man, who's clearly a better, like, pound for pound singer, I guess. I mean, how do you judge that? By the range?
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Sammy Hagar clearly is undoubtedly one of the greatest rock and roll singers that has ever lived, and is still kicking fucking ass. He's one of these guys that at his age is still kicking ass. You know, he humbles you with his talent. But I mean, there ain't no comparison, man. Let him be, you know. Don't compare Van Hagar to me with Van Halen.
Exactly.
It's never going to happen.
And I get shit for...
Did Sammy make great records with Van Halen? Goddamn right he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
They should have just named the band as fucking Shazbot or some shit, man, or Mammoth like they used to be. And it would have been a killer project, you know? It would have been a super killer project. But unfortunately, we can see it in our families, we can see it in our neighborhoods, we can see it in politics, and we can unfortunately see it in rock and roll and rap and country music and any fucking thing. It's politics just, man, ruins politics and personal interests, ruins a greater idea, which is ultimately what we grew up listening to, which is just a fucking record. You don't know there's turmoil or Van Halen because of photo shoots. You don't know about this shit or that shit, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, like Eddie and Alex are pissed off because David Lee Roth is taking pictures with chains with his fashion photographer, blah, 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 blah. You know? Yeah. You don't know that. You're just putting on the Cradle of Rock and just doing backflips, going, what in the fuck is happening in my life, man? And, you know, this is like, still, I can't explain the feeling that I get when I listen to Eddie Van Halen, when I listen to, you know, Jimmy Page, when I listen to anything like, you know, Richie Blackmore, when I'm knowing that this guy's strictly is putting a piece of wire and wood directly into this amplifier, and they're just cutting. This is the rawest shit. When there's no, you know, thought, you know, processors and fake this or fake that, where everything's just absolutely organic, you know. Mm-hmm. I just think Eddie just pushed it, like Jimi Hendrix pushed it for the guitar to the next level. I think Eddie pushed it to the next level organically. He's just such an amazing soul to have done what he does. It's just, you know, it's not even guitar playing. It's a sonic movement. And so it's just sound altogether, what he does with that instrument, you know, and the just sounds he creates. fucking unreal, man.
And you know what? I get shit today still for liking the Sammy Hagar with Van Halen. I'm like you. You got to be
Those
fucking
are
kidding me,
great
really?
records.
Yeah,
Unbelievable records.
yeah.
5150 is a great record, but man, the follow up, OU812, is got so much more edge to it. Yeah. That's a heavy record. That's got hits all over the place, but that record is genius, man. 5150 is fucking killer, dude. To me, you see, I was still in school, so it brings back feelings still of like a time in my life. So I really don't, I mean, was my heart broken? Shit, yes, man. Shit, yes. It was like a love of your life breaking up with you when you hear Van Halen broke up. Like, it's just like, that's the one, that was my band growing up. That was my band. I was like, it was my generation. I was like, I can't, that would, I mean, growing up, I was like, that would never happen to these guys. Because, you think differently on a personal level. You think, like I said, you don't know about this. You don't know their personalities and shit like that. You're just hearing the music and seeing the pictures and magazines, and it gives you this imagery of them whole, bigger than life, man. And that's what they were to me. And if you ever saw Van Halen back then, as I was fortunate enough to see, there was nothing like Van Halen intro. There was no rock band in the history of rock band without having flames and fire and shit like that. There was no bigger band that came out with just instruments and lights and kicked that much ass in the beginning of their set. I'll never forget it, man. The house lights go off and dim lights go on, and then Eddie and Alex and Michael just get on stage. They're noodling, making noise, and they're on stage. And then silhouettes, that's all you see, and all the lights go on. Eddie, either it was Romeo's Delight. I've seen him enough to know it was either Romeo's Delight to open up the show. Most times they open up with On Fire. One time they open up with Unchained. I saw Van Halen many times, man. Wasn't fortunate enough to have anybody take me to the earlier concerts. I wish but Woman and Children was the first time I got to see them. It changed my life. I probably screamed like a girl at a Beatle concert and didn't enjoy the show like I should have. But I was like, I can't begin to tell you, man. When Roth was introducing everybody, I had seen pictures of them doing their thing. So like the smoke, Alex drinking the beer, and then so they were doing all these things I'd seen in pictures. I was losing my mind, man. But the musicianship was just like out of this fucking planet. And that was probably one of the wildest nights of my life.
Oh, I can imagine so.
Yeah, man. I was a kid, and I wasn't a kid that drank or smoked. I wasn't that kid at all. I was literally high on rock and roll, man. I was the rock child. I was an immigrant kid that came to Houston, and just before I came, I was introduced to Stones and the Beatles and Zeppelin by my cousins and my aunt. But when I got here, it was just like Van Halen, and I heard Eruption, and you really got me. It's just like, it's over. Yeah. It's over. Nothing. Eddie was just such a god that, as much as I love Randy Rhoads, when Randy came out with the first two records, Randy still was like son of God.
Oh, sure.
He was never, to me, he was just always second to Eddie in my eyes. But as the years went by, it's so, just Randy just reveals more and more. It's just like, just like a beautiful painting that you look at every time and you get something out of it. There was so much care and love he put into music. They both did, but I'm just like, Eddie was just like organically just like this just fruit you go pick out in the wild, and it's just like fucking insanely awesome. And he honed that energy somehow sonically. Randy was like, a guy who had a garden and took care of it. And he had this, a gardener kind of aspect to it. He had the fruit that he had trimmed Eddie made noise and stuff, and Randy was like clean. So it was just like something beautiful about both of them, man. So I'm just really fortunate to just grow up in their generation.
I want to get into the EP here just a little bit. What's impressed you the most about making the new EP, The Uprising? Marzi, what's caught your eye or impressed you most about it so far, if anything?
Currently, the state of the current EP, I'm just like baffled by the reviews that I'm getting right now. And all the goals that I had set for each individual song, and all the way to the end of the production where I heard the final mix that I was like finally happy with. it's just so many of the words, you know, and the feedback coming, it's just been, you know, expressing everything that, you know, they're putting into words, all the stuff that I went after. So it's been, you know, not that I'm patting myself on the back, but I'm thinking, man, I did what I set out to do, and everybody's getting it. You know, I'm just making blue collar metal, man. You know, and if that makes any sense, it makes it's just call it heavy metal, call it hard rock, call it southern metal, call it whatever you want. I'm just a songwriter. I got a particular sound to my guitar, I guess, and the high energy, which kind of, you know, falls into the metal genre, man. Some of the stuff on Heaviest Texas, man, it's like black metal and then death metal, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like
right.
The whole songs don't commit to a one genre. It's just the way I write and the way I feel like writing. So there's like, you're never going to get a song that's just got like this one pattern on it, unless it's a kick-ass pattern and it sounds cool, like in the Uprising. But I'm not doing things like getting the drummer to play fast, myself. I didn't get Tim to go hit high notes for the sake of it. None of that was done for like me showing off. It was like, all right, man, this song is about this. So what can we do to express this idea or this thought? All right, organically, this, you know, rhythm came to mind, did that, came up with the idea. Uprising is about self-awareness, positive way of revolting and not a negative way outwardly, but looking at and loving yourself and getting strength from within and just being cool and realizing everything's not really that bad, but it's what you make it. And just, you know, slowing down, looking inside of you. That's really what the Uprising is about, man. Enough of all this horse shit about like getting in groups of people and chanting. It's like you really want to care about your brother, sister, mankind in this life what we live in. Me as an artist, man, you know, that's really what I've learned, and that's what I like to give back to people. And it's like, hey, man, slow down, jam out to this music, find a way to just slow down, man, and look inside yourself, because everything that you needed, no more or no less in your life, has been given to you at the time of birth. Don, I'm really, that's one of the proudest moments of my life right now is this record, is because I didn't just play guitar on it, and I didn't just write the songs and have ideas for them, but I wanted to overlook the production. So I took over as the producer, and I, you know, that goes along with, you know, having arranged it and having a great guy that can mix, and then get him to mix it the way you want it to sound, man. Mm-hmm. And then finally, this is my first production effort. Oh, and okay. I'm producing the Heaviest Texas as well.
Do you like this though, the producing side, since you've got a taste of it? I mean, you could do it on your own time, but do you like this side of it, Marzi?
I love it because, man, it makes you dissect and comb your songs in a way you would have never thought before.
I can imagine. You know? Yeah.
And as a songwriter, you can see it, but then when you start involving other people, other musicians, you know, and then you start really looking at it, and you have to do what the song's asking for. You have to find a way to tend to that idea. Maybe, you know, finding around musicians, or maybe hours of practice, or, you know, soul searching, or whatever it may be. And, you know, when you do find it, if you play it too many damn times and you don't play it enough, it loses its essence. So you got to find a way that it always moves you, no matter how many times you listen to it. And so it always, for me, it works because I feel like I'm serving another, you know, a greater cause. You know what I mean? My ego doesn't play fucking jack shit when I'm playing guitar. I'm naked, bare naked. Yeah, I'm not going to be talking, you know, I'm like my soul is just exposed. So what I try to do is just, you know, not write anything, but I just noodle around trying to discover an idea, you know? And when I discover something that sounds cool to me, I try to embellish it and try to take it to the next place. And it's, man, all this stuff I'm telling you is just pure thrill, you know? That's what makes me go looking for it. That's why I play the friggin' guitar all the time. It's just a thrill, man. It's a thrill because you don't know what's around the corner. You just never know. It's just a treasure hunt. Sure. As long as you're practicing, and there's practice in business. It could be me going, you know, where's the spawning knob? It could be that. It could be doing this or that. But it brings you focus. It brings you about. It could be just you sitting going. Practicing your speed or something like that. It doesn't matter, man. It makes you slow down and focus onto something. We're scattered brain people, and we live in the most scattered fucking brain society now, more than ever.
That's
it's
very
like the
true.
best thing you really can do to tune in is to tune out.
Yep.
I promise you that. You tune out like television and stuff like that. It all sounds cliche, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't watch regular television. I never watch any local news. I mean, not local news. I don't watch regular news. Local news, you got local shit. That's all they show you. The only reason I would watch local news is for the weather or traffic.
Yeah.
Other than that, I get that shit on my phone, so I don't like, you could say disconnect and it sounds negative, like, oh man, you don't want to be part of the world. Well, fuck no, I don't want to be part of this piece of shit that you created, man-made shit. No, hell no. Like, I'm supposed to succumb to some like man's idea and say this is just the way it is because somebody said so. Well, hell no, man. I'm made out of stardust, dude. So are you. So is all of us. This is the magic. We're just traveling, through. This is our present, and I'm taking my present, and I want to just give it back through music and art. That's my present back before I croak. That's my whole vision and goal right now, man. I have kids too, and I need to leave something behind, and it doesn't matter how much money you leave anybody behind. If a dime, it will all go away. Mm-hmm. But you can't take with you. You can't take any of that with you.
Sure.
But you can leave some music behind. You can leave art behind. You can leave a melody or a thought or, just a good thought and just some love, man. It's just vanishing, I think, man. Everything. I saw Roger Waters last night, and his emphasis was basically the same thing as he's always done. It's either about love or greed, man. And the world now, you look at who, I hate to even say the dude's name, I won't. But you get such a POS, man, that, in charge, such a soulless, greedy person. It's just like there's no love anywhere. So obviously when there's like no compassion or sincerity, well, what are you going to get? What do you think the world's going to reflect? So, yeah. But, in the midst of all that shit, flowers grow, man, somehow.
That's true.
And I'm not gonna pay attention to all that negativity that the dude's bringing about the world and the chaos. My way of revolting is putting out that friggin' album, The Uprising. And if you can see it actually on the album cover that my son drew, that's what's significant too, man. When I was growing up, loving life and loving album covers and this and that, my son drew it, dude. It means so much to me, and that's his idea, what he drew. Well, he was like, "What's The Uprising about?" And when I told him, he went and drew that, and then he drew me with my guitar in my hand in the midst of the world that we live in today, which is war-stricken and all this. And he drew a kid blood running down his face and tears and war-stricken, reaching up, and I'm reaching down, handing the kid a book. I'm not giving him a gun. I'm not giving him a package. Nothing. I mean, what else? So it's just symbolism, right. Symbolic for passing it down to the next generation and keeping the positive flow going.
And that's cool that your son did that.
Through heavy metal, through the music medium, dude. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to not budge, man. This is what I'm representing. Through my label, and through my music. And through the artists we pick up, It's just as simple as that. There's two ways you can go about business too, man. You can go dirty and you be legit about it. I'm being as legit as freaking possible, man. Doing everything, in the right way, what it feels right and what it feels good and correct.
Yeah. That's cool that your kid did that, man. That's pretty badass, honestly.
Yeah, he drew that. That was all his idea, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And when I saw Blabbermouth, and the comments, the only negative comments that I got about my EP is in that album cover. And it was on Blabbermouth. And I'm not gonna take 3 or 4 people's comments to heart. It's cool, man. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, man. Right. It's cool. If you're gonna say, did a kid draw that? Yeah, a kid drew that. Yeah. Guess what I didn't use? A computer. Guess what I used? His flesh and blood, his hands, man. He drew this with his own bare hands. Yeah. I didn't use a computer font for this and computer font for that. Any kind of graphic this, graphic that. Nothing wrong against that. But, man, I wanted something original out. And the music on there is original. I've been really, at the end of the day, other than calling it blue-collar metal or, power metal, I don't know. You can't call it anything. You can't call it death metal, black metal. It's just good old-fashioned just music, man, with a heavy edge to it. And it's original, though. It's original. There's plenty more where that's coming from, too, with Heaviest Texas.
Now, I know that a lot of these songs on this EP mean a lot to you, but are there any that stick out a lot to you, Marzi, on this EP, or Some stand out more than others, possibly?
Every single one of them is very, very, very significant. I'll be brief about it because I'm talking your head off. But Monster Within is that inner strength, that monster, that energy that you got inside of you, whether you hone it, you keep it in the midst of shit that you're around and witnessing. You're still working it too, daily, maybe years. You're in the midst of it, but that monster within lays there, and it's but it's not dormant. It's going to come out, and it eventually does. And it came out for me in that song, first track of that song, and it's just like it's about strength within, believing in yourself. The Uprising, it's like part 2 of that. It's like having that feeling inside that has finally come out, and then now you embrace it. Now it's time to just rise up, okay? Once you've risen, man, there's no falling down. Now it's to take care of business. Without warning, it's just that. It's just you be careful what you ask for, because it's going to come. It's going to come, and that thing comes without warning. Is just that. It all talks about unity too, though. Every single song has that character about it. It's unifying all of us. And like the Uprising, Tim says, we are all the same. And without warning, he does one of the best heavy metal lines right at the end of the song, towards the end, where the song takes a right turn and gets really heavy. I don't know, man. There's a lot of gems hidden inside of it. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that the last track doesn't have any guitar solos in it, and it's just a groove machine. That feel stoner in me. Tim can go, ape shit on it and do all this stuff, and it ends with him screaming, and it falls into the outro of the record.
Working with Tim on this, man, how was working with him, and what did he bring? What did he bring into this EP, or brought out in you in this EP, Marzi?
Well, working with him was about as like pouring a glass of water and drinking it. That's how easy it is to work with Tim. Tim was, as a professional, and was incredible enough to do what he did, but he was smart enough to ask, ideas you have, it's welcome. If you got lyrics, if you have any idea where to do what, So I wrote him specific notes on every single song. Because, mind you, we weren't together when he did his tracks. He did all this solo. And what he turned in was a perfect body of work vocally, where I had more than what I needed from him, where we actually had to go choose, for certain tracks to give this record the character that it has. Because I did not want it to sound like something that he had done before, he's such a talent, you know what I mean? He's such a talent. It's like, okay, well, let's showcase this motherfucker in a different avenue, in a different light. And I love it. I love that he sang on this EP, and what he did on it is just golden, man. I've been jamming to this shit a lot longer, man, than anybody else has, and I'm just kind of overall very happy that it's seen the light of day. And so since we didn't work together, you were asking what he has done for me, and like working with him, it's like an aftermath that, the combination just worked so well with us working together, without, having been in the same state, living in different states. We pulled it off.
Will there be a second album, possibly? I mean, working with Tim on this again, maybe, possibly?
Yeah, man. He's one of my good friends, and he's a great guy, and he's got a talent like he does. I promise you this much, okay? My partner in my label really, 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 really wants me to cut a solo record, and I'm not against it, because I think there's just too much music out there I'm talking about. There's a lot of demos that I have of songs that just don't fit with Tim. They just, they don't. And they're not fit for Heavy's Texas. They're just not. So why, use them for this? But they're there. So I was thinking this would be a great opportunity to do a solo record. So for a solo record, I'm thinking about, calling great friends with incredible talents. Like, I'll name one guy for you, okay? Doug Pinnick.
There you go. King's X. Yeah, KXM. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much I can do. What else would I have to say? I would love to work with him. We've talked about it. He's all go. There's another person that I've talked about it long time ago, and he was all go, but we haven't talked in a while, and I don't know, what state of mind people are at what time, you know, how busy they may be or not. This is what I'm talking about. On a solo record, I want it to be all over the place. So I want to work with Hank 3.
Yeah.
Not to play live with him, but I want to do a couple of songs with him. And I want to do the same thing with Doug, couple of songs. And with Tim, couple of songs. With Tim, because he's got this operatic potential. I'm thinking about something crazy with him. And then maybe a collab with, you know, a few guys and stuff like that. But altogether, I'm thinking about 5 artists, 2 songs each, all over the friggin' place. I have a female vocalist in mind. I just want to talk too much about it because that's just going to live it too much further in the future. And that, you know, when that time comes. Right now, everything is the Uprising EP, everything about it. And if there's an inkling to anything that's coming out of the camp and the label, I believe that's a good testimony, man, in production value and in the song quality. And once we start signing other bands, you know, once that happens, we started a label so I can get my music out, and anything without any kind of interference, without any kind of outside influence at all. Like I get the artwork, I get the music the way I want it to sound, and then I put it out. I'm responsible for all of it. So my partner was gracious enough to go, hey man, let's do this. Why don't we do this? Let's see your vision through. Let's start a label, and we'll do that. And, you know, down the line, we'll get some other acts and stuff like that. You know, what kind of music? All heavy metal? No. What kind of music? And don't ask me. To me, I'm going to go back to when I was a kid and listen to music. You couldn't tell me it was this or that. It was just music. Though my dad was a big country guy, so I knew country music. But then, like everything else, I mean, and then classical music, and there was country music. Yeah, but then everything else was just music to me. You know what I mean? I just heard, I don't know, fuck. Whatever, if it's rockabilly, if it's jazz, if it's reggae, it's barbershop reggae.
That'd be cool,
barbershop
actually.
Raga. Whatever, dude. You know, whatever. If it's good. Hey, you're from Kentucky. I'm wondering, have you heard of these 2 sisters named Larkin Poe from Georgia?
No, I haven't. That's just me, though.
Yeah, no worries. I just discovered a couple of nights ago, and I just I shared it on my Facebook, and you know, it's I'm beside myself when I heard it, man. It was the most beautiful thing. These sisters are so blessed, it's not even funny.
I'll check it out.
Please do.
Yeah.
LARKINPOE. You know, you always wonder, like, you know, I get tagged for the heavy metal guy and stuff like that, and it's just like, it's cool, man. But if you think I'm playing metal all day long in my house, you're wrong.
Oh, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm all over the place with stuff.
You think I don't like heavy metal? Like I don't love heavy metal, and I don't think you're wrong there too. But don't think I'm not going to go from listening to fucking Terrorizer to, you know, Joe Pass to Norah Jones. I'm going to do whatever I want, man. Fucking Jerry Reed shit all day, son, all day. So. Yeah, Larkin Poe, these 2 sisters, man, they stole my heart, man. I listened to that song. I was like, God bless you all, man.
Yeah.
I was like, Woman Crush from Hell on both of the sisters. Not in the Woman Crush.
I mean, I go from
anyway, I was just like, oh my God. I went to Roger Waters last night and came home humming their song.
Yeah. I mean, I go from, you know, listening to the Killers to listen to, like, I don't know, say some Southern metal or either a bluegrass stuff. I mean, I'm all over the place with stuff.
Yeah, man. Music is universal language, and
yeah,
I know. I'm fortunate to play a role in it now, you know, and hopefully we can, with your help and with everybody else's help that's been just so gracious enough, we can just get it on more hands.
Yeah.
You know?
So what about
people prepared for the next record from the label, and then the next effort and the next effort.
What about touring with this, Marzi, with this EP and stuff? Are you wanting to tour and put this in the set list, or let's talk about that a little bit?
Okay, well, as far as touring with Tim, I'll tour with Tim anytime to support this EP at any point. You know, I'll do it at any point. If that doesn't happen for some reason with his schedule, when Heavy as Texas puts out their album and I'm on the road, I'm gonna play whatever I want. And I want to tell you that when we did play Anthrax gig with Kyle singing, at the time I was working on these songs, and I played with Tim already once, and I had these songs and recorded. So I sent them to Kyle and was like, hey, you feel like playing these songs live? Because they're my, recent songs I recorded, and I feel like playing them live and stuff like that. I said, Ripper sang on it, man. And he's like, man, I love Ripper, man. You know, he totally loves Tim. You know, who doesn't love Tim?
Right.
And I said, yeah. And I said, well, you don't have to hit the high notes and stuff like that, you know. You can do your own thing to it. He goes, no, it's cool, man. But, I mean, I really was trying to tell him, you don't do it, do your own thing and stuff like that. We go on stage, he fucking just does it just like Ripper. So Ripper would have been proud of him, you know. He really did a really, really great job. I'm really a lucky dude to be working with such great talents. Mm-hmm. Truly am, you know. Because with lead singers, man, it could go either way. It's a tough thing to get, you know. A couple of dudes as nice and funny as these dudes, and God bless it, incredibly talented and original. It's like, whoo-wee, you know. So, yeah, when we tour, it's a good possibility that we'll put it in the set. But, you know, when that album drops, man, you know, the emphasis on that is going to be that album. And that's a full LP, you know, that's going to be a full set. But, I mean, at that time, I think, man, to be all honest with you, I may reach out to the public and then, you know, get a consensus of, like, what the people really want out of the repertoire. And if it's something that they want to hear, man, I'm here for them. So I'm not going to hold back playing a song because, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
We all play music. I mean, Ripper can probably play these songs with his band somewhere else and stuff like that. You know, he's welcome to it. You know,
folks.
That's how the business is today, because we all have other things involved moving forward. Sometimes, you know, we can't be at the same place at the same time. You just got to, you know, play that song that people want to hear, man. You got to make it happen.
Yeah. Folks, I got to say, and I'm not saying this because Marzi's on here and he's my good buddy. I'm not saying it all because Marzi knows how I am. I tell it flat out. I tell it like it is. I don't sugarcoat nothing. But this is actually pretty damn good. All these songs are great. There's not a bad song on here. You know, my favorite on here is Without Warning, and I like Who Is Alive. Those are my favorite ones. You know?
Nice.
It's just...
I want to ask you something as
sure.
a music lover and listener myself. How long have you had it? And, like, I was just wondering.
I've had
for
this...
me, it changes. Like, what song I like changes around, you know?
Yeah, it just... The mood. It just depends on my mood, you know?
Exactly.
I
mean, Without Warning always gets me, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a damn good song. I mean, it's just your guitar playing and Tim's vocals. I mean, it fucking matches, man. That's just all there is to it.
I think, man, my engineer in Houston that records with me, he always uses this, and he says, he goes, Marzi, what sets you apart from everybody else, or math metal, or all this other different, he goes, your shit's got feeling.
Yeah.
And man, I play this stuff with all my heart, man. And you know, and when it comes out, I mean, yeah, we are listening to me in the studio playing a song, but man, that song came from somewhere. Mm. So when I go into the studio, I make sure that feeling is still intact with it, and it's lifeless. I mean, you know, lifeless. I give it life that, you know, forever, you know, that you can always listen to it, like you would Van Halen, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and get that feeling. And when I listen to Without Warning, you know, when the tempo changes and the emotion in his vocals come out, and the sincerity in the guitars come, and the bass line, you know, to me it moves you, and it does what it's supposed to do the second verse, and it gets just a little bit heavier on the second verse, you know. And it takes its time gradually getting itself to the very end where Tim does the Without Warning line, which is, to me, it's one of the most classic heavy metal vocal lines I've ever heard. There ain't no warning. I can't sing like that, man. They may not tell us what to do with our time, you know, the way, and his rhythm that he just says it. And I really like my guitar solo, and one of these days I'm going to have to sit down and learn it, man. Because Without Warning was a guitar solo that I had done that wasn't supposed to be. It was that was all one take. And it was all one take in the studio. Like I don't even remember. We weren't supposed to take it. I was supposed to go, like, come home fresh and the next day or two and do the solo. And I was wasted, dude. I had been drinking and smoking all day, and I did it, like, I don't mean it sounds like a party, but I mean probably really heavy at the end of the night, and I was just like, it had caught up to me, and I was just like super uber relaxed, and I was just, dude, let me have a go at it, and that let me have a go at it is the solo that ended up on the CD. It's a complete one take, and it's noisy, and it makes, it gets feedback over here and there, but it was just like it worked. It worked, and there was a lot of feeling. And I don't mean to like glorify telling you I've smoked or drank or anything like that. What I'm trying to tell you is just like it was pure and sincere.
Right.
It was just like I try to do that anyway. Every time I'm trying to play. That evening, I just happened to be really relaxed.
Nothing wrong with that, folks. Get out, check this this EP out. If you love metal music, you will definitely love this EP. And plus, Heavy as Texas is going to be coming out with some new shit. And I've loved Marzi's guitar player since he was with Phil's Illegals band. And hey, I try to keep up with my brother as much as I can. So, Marzi, thank you as always. And how can folks stay in touch with you, buy this merchandise, this EP? How can they do that?
Thank you so much. Well, you can go to CrunchyWestern.com, where it's our website, or MarziMontazeri.com. And in both websites, we have a shopping cart, and you can get anything you want on there. Digitally, you can get this guy, the EP, on any digital site available, iTunes, Spotify, it's very accessible. Physical copies, you can get them from TuneCore. Again, you can order the CDs and shirts from our web store, and we will have vinyls at the end of this month. So for limited run, we're having vinyls.
That's awesome.
I'm looking forward to that. I got to have me a vinyl.
Oh, sure.
I'm a vinyl guy, and I like to have my own vinyl too.
My brother, before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Absolutely, man. Just tell me what to say. You got it. Hey, this is Marzi Montazeri, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you for having me.